What is up? This is Trent with SoundLink Magazine here with Lakeshore. How you guys doing?
Good, man. How are you?
I'm pretty good. What about you?
Doing good, doing good.
Awesome. So introduce yourselves and what y'all do real quick.
I'm Sean Adams. I'm the vocalist.
Okay.
Joe Linetti, play drums.
Okay, sweet. So I don't know if our viewers know, or you guys probably know, but you guys were part of our compilation we did this year and stuff with the one song or two. So we've been sharing that around, promoting it and everything. So yeah, so you guys are still pretty much a new band and everything, and dropping your first EP and stuff. So how's that been going? How's the fans been reacting and stuff?
Oh, everything's been great. We hit Billboard, which was fucking more than we could ever ask for.
Yeah.
First EP out. The band's not even been out for a year. But every show has been fucking fantastic. All the fans' reactions have been great. Like, I don't think I could have asked for any more from this tour.
Okay.
Or anything, really. Shit.
Yeah, what about you?
Yeah, no, it's been great. I mean, you can tell that there's a bunch of people that haven't heard of us because obviously, there's growth that needs to happen. So, but I mean, like, as we get through the set, I feel like we start winning people over, and it's been really interesting and a lot of fun. So.
Awesome. So now, how did this all come together? Because some people might know your past and stuff and everything, where you guys came from and everything. But how did you get involved with this band and stuff, and how did this whole Lakeshore project come together and all that?
Well, Ben and Joe had a good thing going. They had a couple iterations of this band, a few months beforehand.
Three different versions of Lakeshore before this one finally came together. So.
Okay.
So I joined after the singer that they had before left with their other iteration of this band, and I got a phone call from Ben, and we've never met before. We have a mutual friend, Naveed, who's the drummer for Abacab and Further Fallen Jews, or was the drummer. And he used to drum tech for Suicide Silence, and still does. And Ben was the guitar tech for Suicide Silence. So he asked Naveed if he knew any singers, and I played in a bunch of bands with Naveed, so he gave him my name. And I think I was up in Connecticut 2 or 3 days later. We just figured it all out, and it's been history since, man.
Nice use of words there.
Yeah.
All right, so now your background comes from more of a heavier one and stuff with your old band and all that. So how, what made you guys, I guess, want to switch? I mean, I know playing the same style of music is boring and stuff, but what you guys are doing with Lakeshore versus, the other band and stuff was night and day different. So how did you guys come into more of a post-hardcore, more chill type of vibe versus, breakdown type of thing?
Yeah. Well, I mean, we've always loved a lot of stuff like Aerosmith, Steely Dan. So we always had this other kind of vibe in us. And obviously, if you listen to old Emmure when we were in the band compared to when we left, there was a little bit that kind of went with us, you know what I mean? Not that the new stuff isn't great, but you could tell a little bit of what was left, and we kind of wanted to use that and go with this more of rock version from the bands that we grew up listening to, and that whole style of playing, and a little more structured, a little more this, a little more that. So then we just kind of were like, you know what, let's just go for it and just do what we do best instead of trying to maybe do something else or something that's already been done. I mean, it's the same thing. If you want to listen to something heavy like a Suicide Silence, you listen to that band, or you want to listen to Paramore, you listen to that band, you want to listen to Emmure, you listen to that band. So, we didn't want to follow in the footsteps of what we've done before or try to remake anything. We want to do something fresh and new, and, we got the guy that can do it, so it's just here we are, Yeah,
so it seems like you guys are doing more or less Chelsea Grin tours, and more so, hopefully, if you guys get bigger, stuff with Too Close to Touch, and that kind of vibe. So it's two different worlds you guys are going from and entering and stuff, tour-wise and everything. So you got, from what I know, I heard this EP has not one but 2 songs honoring Mitch Lucker, correct? Or is it one?
I think it's just King.
Okay.
I mean, there's other stuff. I mean, obviously, with Ben was such great friends with him, and I was too, but not the way Ben was. Ben lived with them for a little bit, and he was really, really close with them. So the song King is more about that time with him and just his whole idea of what this is. It's about the whole experience more than maybe just about him. It's more about his idea and everything going along with it. If that makes sense, if that's clear.
Yeah. I wouldn't say that we had one this song's gonna be about Mitch. It was more when Ben and I were writing the lyrics, he was influenced by Mitch, and that came out. You know what I mean? We did actually have one song that was very directly about him that we didn't do. We might do it in the future, but it kind of just...
Yeah, I think that's where it came from. I think I heard a story about that, or heard some rumors of that and stuff.
We almost put it out, but it didn't feel right. You know what I mean? Those things are very touchy, and It needs to be right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and plus with how many different iterations of it was to find a focused vision of what we were doing. You know what I mean? I think that song was maybe 1 or 2 different versions before this, you know what I mean? Because we would write like 6 songs and then be like, okay, well, what do we try this? And write 6 or 8 more, and then be like, okay, what about this? Then we like write 6 or 8 more, and then finally, like right as Sean came into the band, it was like, okay, this is what we're doing.
Yeah. Okay.
You know?
All right. So I know Artery's helped you guys out in the past promoting stuff and managing and all that. So it's still a blurred line for me because I still don't know if you are actually signed to that label or not. And if not, yeah.
No.
Oh, okay. So okay, that's what I was
signed to
thinking.
Artery.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Okay, so. You guys are doing a tour with Alesana, you guys it's getting known and stuff like that as an independent band. Is that something you guys are trying to do with your career, just stay independent, do stuff on your own, and I guess show that I guess the label's not necessarily needed to be successful?
No, I mean, I think it all how it comes together for each band, you know? I mean, obviously, if the right label came along, that'd be great. I mean, if we did this on our own, that would be great. I mean, it really just depends on how everything comes across. I mean, we're definitely not opposed to talking to anybody, so we have, you know, we're working with Outer Loop Management and Outer Loop Records to put out the record. You know, we're working with Artery Global to do our booking, and then, you know, we just kind of go from there, just play it by ear. I mean, you really can't have any plans in this business.
Yeah, I mean, you've come from a band that is signed to a label, and now you're not. So how do you see it? Like, what the good and bad? Like, how do you see the benefits of doing independent for right now and stuff?
I mean, there's benefits to both, but I think having a team behind you is the most important thing.
Okay.
I mean, there is a lot of things like you don't need to do it on your own, or like you don't need someone to do it, and it's like you really don't. But I mean, you do need that team and you need that network to really help you and get you along. So I mean, it's just a matter of how things play out. I mean, again, having a plan is in this industry is not what you really want to do. You want to have a goal and you want to be going somewhere and you want to understand what that means and how to navigate those waters. But at the end of the day, I mean, you never really know, you know, who's going to bite or what's going to happen. So
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So after this tour, going into the fall, the end of the year, you guys going to take it easy a little bit and you know, relax a little bit? Or you guys still going to hit the rest of the year hard, or
No, I mean, we have some things in the works that we're still trying to figure out. I mean, I think we're going to write a little bit more, record a little bit more, just keep the whole creative side moving forward. And then again, the rest just has to fall into place. I mean, we're up in the air with a lot of things, but I mean, nothing we can talk about yet that's set in stone. So,
Okay. Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, I have a fun question for you guys. It's sort of our trademark and stuff, so I'll lay it on you guys.
Give it to me.
If you guys could hang out with, date, marry, do anything you want to with Taylor Swift and she wrote a song about you, what would that be called and what would that be about?
Oh, man.
Why?
Why?
I don't know. I would be so good to Taylor Swift. If you're listening, I love you.
Dude, that's a solid answer. I don't know what mine would be. Man, I hope I just wouldn't fuck it up. Sorry, Elizabeth. I love you. I'm taken.
Well, that's why I say hang out with. Like,
Just kidding, Elizabeth. I love you.
Yeah, you could just like what if you and is she your girlfriend, fiance, wife, or?
No, she's my girlfriend.
Okay, so what if y'all three just hung out together? What would that be like?
Oh man.
What would that song be?
Now, trifecta maybe. Heaven. Yeah. Like, let's never stop this, please, ever. Like, no, I don't know. Yeah, I'll go with trifecta instead of like train wreck or something like that. You know what I mean?
Okay, awesome. Well, Lakeshore, thanks for talking to us today, and looking forward to finally seeing you guys live and everything. So, all right, awesome. This is Trent with SoundLink Magazine here with Lakeshore. Thanks for watching, everybody.